up guys, welcome back. So I'm working on a longer video for the paint restoration on the MR2. That'll be later on, but one of the things I want to talk about real quick is a spot on these specific models that a lot of debris can accumulate, and it's a super simple fix, but if you don't take care of it, it can lead to some real rust problems. So it's real easy to handle. I like to do it, I like to pick the car up and get the wheel off and do it that way. You don't need to, but it's a little bit more convenient. So let's get to it. With the wheel and tire out of the way, it's real easy to access the bolts that hold the fender liner onto the car. But first, we have to start with the mud flap. Like a lot of the fasteners that hold the fender liner into the car, these are coarse thread 10mm headed screws. And there's one sneaky one that threads vertically up into the side sill. The rest of the fasteners are just standard Phillips head. Within a few short minutes, you can gain access to the trouble area. At this point though, I decided to remove the entire fender liner to give it a good cleaning. There are quite a few fasteners that hold the fender liners into these AW11s, so take your time, make sure you get everything removed before you go yanking on it. These can get a little brittle over time, and you can definitely damage the liner itself if you try and remove it off the car with one of the bolts still in there. But after some fiddling around, it'll come right out. Alright, so ended up taking the whole fender liner off. Makes it just a little bit easier. But you can see, wheels removed, fender liners removed. So I live in the Northwest. This car's been up here for a little while. You can see all of this, the pine needles and all this crap that's accumulated in here. So this is your fender. This is the inside of the wheel well, the body is. And there's a cavity back here. So over time, I'll try and get this on video too. There's a hole that runs all the way up to where the windshield is. Basically, just stuff just like falls down and accumulates in here. So, really simple to clean out once you get to it. I suggest you do this probably, I think up here for me, I'm probably going to do it twice a year. But if you don't have a whole lot of leaves and stuff falling from the sky, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But definitely check it if you just bought one of these cars. So I used a screwdriver and a shop vac to clean this out. Use whatever thin tool you have to get the bulk of the material out. You know, at the bottom of my fender, I really had what could just be considered dirt at this point. So really, you want to get something in there and scrape it pretty good. I used that and a shop vac, and it worked great. You could also wash this out with some soap and a hose, or you could use compressed air if you wanted to. You know, it really whatever works for you. This was enough to get the job done on my car. So I'm trying to show you guys in this shot what the actual problem is. On the right hand side of the frame, you've got the outside of the fender. On the left hand side, you've got the unibody, and there's just this cavern that gets created by those two pieces. And as the camera pans up, you can see a little spot of bright light up at the top. That is the ceiling of my garage. So you can see that is how it all gets in here. And this shot right here is where it comes in from the top. I don't know why Toyota designed it this way, but it's terrible. Maybe one of you guys can tell me why. You can see everything that came out of just one side of my MR2. So with everything cleaned out, it was time to put it back together. These liners, they can be a little fiddly to put back in, just like it was taking it out. But one pro tip, make sure that the entire liner itself is inside the fender so you can't see it from the outside. Really the only parts that you're going to see are these little plastic clips that clip onto some eyelets on the fender itself, and then there's a small piece that hangs out underneath the mud flap in between the mud flap and the body of the car towards the rear. Once it's situated where it needs to go, all that's left to do is put all the fasteners back in. Whenever I pull wheels off the car for the first time, I like to put a little anti-seize on the studs just to be safe. With the wheel back on and the lug nuts tight, it's time to lower the car and move to the other side. Like I said, this is a real quick, easy job that can save you a ton of headache in the future. And in an upcoming video, I show you how to take whatever this is back to Toyota Super Red with just a few simple tools and a little bit of time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.